Oh, hello. Hey, Joe. You beat me here, buddy. Shangri-La today, are you? You're in Shangri-La. Well, greetings all the way in Shangri-La. I'm in Taiwan, downtown Taiwan, under a fish market. That's where I'm broadcasting this from. And yeah, so welcome to the show. If you're watching, welcome from Taiwan. Not really, but yeah, it is one day before the the election. Crazy election. This crazy, weird time that we have. We're going to talk about some stuff related to the election. Unfortunately, I didn't want to, but what are you going to do? I'm a day before. I don't think there's anything else to talk about. Well, there is a couple other things, but uh, the smell would be awful if I were actually under a fish market in Taiwan. The smell would be horrible, but I'm not. I'm just kidding. How's the smell in Shangri-La? Yeah, so we're gonna talk about some fun stuff. We had a weird thing happen with ABC News. Yeah, you should take tomorrow off to riot. It's really a good idea. But we saw ABC News posted election results a few days ago on I guess a NASCAR or something or whatever it was. It was some kind of racing broadcast, and they posted at the bottom. Of course, what do you think they posted? They posted Kamala winning. Oddly enough, that's weird. They claim it was an error, it was a test. We'll talk about it. We'll see what we come up with. Also, we're going to talk about Kamala's overall popularity shift, growth, and all that. What's happened, what's transpired over the last 5-6 months, and why, and all this. We'll talk about that. Also, we're going to talk about DEI being a big waste of money. They're finally figuring it out. So, yeah, we'll talk about that as well. Also, North Korea is ratcheting up essentially their nuclear stockpiles, I guess you would say. That's not a good thing. This uncertainty over there is always troublesome. So we'll talk about that. Also, robots. There's some investment being made into robots and such through Bezos and OpenAI. Maybe robots are right around the corner. Who knows? Might be coming quicker than you can think. We'll talk about that. Also, Pelosi, a funny video of Pelosi talking about Trump's cognitive decline as she stumbles over her words. Chick's like 84 and talking about cognitive decline. Yeah, her skin suit's starting to wear out. But before we get into all of that, if you are watching and you're not yet a subscriber, do subscribe to the channel. That's I should do this right here. Subscribe. My little subscribe sign back there. Don't hit that. That won't work. But you subscribe to the channel, like the content, and in other words, hit the like on the content, all that kind of stuff that helps a small channel like mine actually get noticed by the algorithm. So if you want to help out the channel, that's the way you do it. Also share and comment, all that kind of stuff. Engagement is the key with a small channel. So if you missed any part of the podcast and you don't want to watch the whole thing again, I don't blame you. You can catch smaller bits. I post them during the week between Tuesday and Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern. You can catch them there. You can, if you want to help out, you can share, like, comment, all that kind of stuff. Funny comments, welcome. Stupid comments, unwelcome. I will call you stupid in some way, in the funniest way possible. But if you want to make fun of me, that's always, I like that too, to be honest. I don't know why, but I get a kick out of it when people have funny, clever things to say about me, even if it's negative. What you're saying, it makes me feel good to lose $6 an hour, to lose a $6 an hour pay increase. Well, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing at all. I don't know why that would make you feel good, buddy. No, that's not a good thing at all. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, let's get into it because honestly, I don't know how this is gonna run because I'm gonna talk about the election stuff and I'm not even sure if I'm gonna post it. Who knows? As far as videos after the fact, because like I said, they just throttle that stuff down anyways, and some of it's gonna be a little lost past the point. So, but let's get into it anyway. Let me plop this up here. DEI. Oh yeah, DEI is great. wait till we talk about that. It's gonna take a little time, I think, probably. So ABC News really stepped in it. They did something kind of funny, which is it's weird when this kind of stuff happens because you wonder if it was somebody meant to do this. But they posted election results days earlier, and ABC, I bet you can guess who they predicted would win Pennsylvania. All right, well, I'm going to read this article here. This is the Hindustan Times, one of the only articles that's actually reporting on this, which is funny because you'd think it'd be bigger news, but of course, they're not going to tell on their friends. Let me read this. Anyway, so Kamala Harris wins key swing state. ABC accidentally airs election results and apologizes. Broadcaster clarified the numbers were random test data and apologized for the confusion, ensuring it won't happen again. ABC affiliate WNEP TV accidentally aired election results showing Vice President Kamala Harris winning Pennsylvania just a week before Election Day. The graphic, which showed VP Harris's win with 52% of the vote over Republican challenger Donald Trump's 47%, popped up during the station's Sunday coverage of the Formula One Mexico Grand Prix, sparking a wave of online conspiracy theories and criticism for the network. WNEP TV has since clarified that the numbers were randomly generated for equipment testing purposes and were not based on any actual vote count. Okay. Wonder why it ended up with Kamala. Those numbers should not have appeared on the screen, and it was an error by WNEP that they did, the broadcast station reportedly told Daily Mail about the glitch. The broadcaster clarified the slip-up that caused a stir on social media, explaining that the numbers aired were purely randomly generated test results with no connection to actual vote counts. The numbers seen on the screen were randomly generated test results sent out to help news organizations make sure their equipment is working properly in advance of election night, they added. They emphasized that Pennsylvania law prohibits mail-in ballots from being opened until Election Day morning, with no votes counted until polls close at 8 p.m. Adding to their statement, WNEP expressed regret over the incident, apologizing for the confusion and assuring viewers that measures are in place to prevent a recurrence. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are locked in a tight race in the key battleground state of Pennsylvania, with real clear politics showing, or data showing, Trump holding a slim 0.7% lead, or 48.2%, to Harris's 47.5%. Nationally, however, the vice president has a slight edge in polling averages. On November 5, Americans will decide who will succeed President Joe Biden Back in 2020, Biden narrowly won Pennsylvania, edging out Trump by just 80,555 votes, a margin of 1.17%, according to the Post. The cheating game is on, one poster posted, accusing ABC of bias. Another chimed in, ABC is rigging it for the Democrats, revoked their license. A third wrote, I'm screenshotting this, and if the same thing shows up on November 5, we'll talk. That's kind of funny, eh? It'd be quite funny if it shows up exactly the same way. What's going on here? Pennsylvania's 19 voting spots are really important in the fight to hit the 270 mark needed to win the Electoral College. The 538 presidential prediction says Pennsylvania is going to be super close, with Trump tipped to win about half the time. So, anyways, okay. So, well, they stepped in some shit. That's not cool. And the fact, had it said Trump, I mean, they probably get away with it a little heavier than that. But now, the fact that it says Kamala and everybody knows that ABC's completely left-leaning. What's that say? You know, it's weird. This is the kind of stuff that, you know, it makes you put the tinfoil hat on, right? It's like, is it already, you know, is the fix in, or was this really just a slip up? I don't know. Time will tell. So we'll have to watch on election night and see what happens there. What are you saying? It's so strange. I'm going to keep my eye on that. I believe it was 49 to 51. It was actually 52-47 or something like that. Where's it? It shows it. Hold on. Let me see. What did it say here? It shows it here. I think. Oh, no. It didn't show it here. Where did it show it? One's going to try and pop up some kind of pop-up blocker. Yep. Damn it. It was 40. No, not 49, 46. Anyways, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I remember it being 52. I don't know if it just said that 52 to 47 or something like that, but either way, kind of funny that they that it just happened to in their randomly generated polling stat or polling results. It just happened to go Kamala's way. That's weird. Sure. No shit, the numbers shouldn't have appeared, and I believe them about as far as I could throw the Andre the Giant when I was 5. Please, they put those numbers up all the time. Football, baseball, all the sports, the news, they didn't need to test. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree with that one. But this is where kind of like I wonder if maybe that's somebody that works for the agency that's like, hey, this is bullshit. That there's some advanced knowledge of things, and plopped it up there just to kind of shake it up. I think that kind of stuff happens from time to time. But we'll have to see. We're gonna watch ABC pretty closely, I think. I normally wouldn't, but hey, who knows? Maybe that was their way of getting their ratings up. Get people to watch now on election night. All right, I'm gonna get on the next thing here. Got a little bit. I ate some yogurt. I got like strawberry seeds stuck in my tooth. Back tooth there. Not good. All right. So Kamala Harris's popularity seemed to get a pretty weird boost back in, August, basically. Sometime in the early summer. Which is kind of odd because typically, when somebody runs for president, they get a popularity decline. Yeah. Oh, well, let's see. Let's read this article here. This is 19thnews.org. We got to read articles from the smaller guys sometimes, see what they have to say. How Kamala Harris got more popular. The fact that Americans view Harris more favorably than before she became the candidate sheds light on how they see vice presidents, women of positions of power, and the country right now. On June 27, the day the first and only presidential debate between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump, only 37% of Americans said they had a favorable opinion of Vice President Kamala Harris. More than half, 54%, held an unfavorable opinion. By August 5th, Harris had officially become the nominee, and her favorability rate had jumped to 43%. As of October 26th, it was at 46%, meaning Harris had done something virtually unprecedented. She had become more likable since becoming a major party's nominee. Generally, Americans think less favorably of people who are running for president. This has been true, too, of the only other women to be a major party's nominee. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's unfavorability rating reached a record high in the final stretch of her campaign for the presidency. So it's remarkable that any presidential campaign has seen their favorability continually improve since becoming a major party's nominee. It is even more remarkable that the candidate is not only a woman, but a woman of color. It remains to be seen whether Harris will be able to clinch a victory in what appears to be a dead heat race between her and Trump, who is currently underwater with Americans. 43% view him favorably and 52% unfavorably. But the change in Americans' perceptions of Harris sheds light on how they see vice presidents, women of positions of power in the country right now. Okay, so that's odd. I'm going to stop there for a second. That's kind of odd. For one, she was wildly unpopular. Like these polls are hard to believe, these polls anyway, because I've never received a polling call ever, even in Canada, right? I don't know of anybody in the States, people I know who ever get polling calls. So I don't know who they're polling, but anyways, so whether you trust this or not, but it was a pretty big consensus, I would say, that Kamala was a bust as a vice president. She wasn't even favorable when she was running for president. Like she didn't even make it past the primaries at all. Like one of the first out, basically. So I don't know how she gets popularity. This just kind of shows to me anyway that it doesn't matter. You could put a fucking stick figure. You could literally put a cardboard cutout of Zac Efron in there or something, and you're just going to get a certain amount of people are going to vote no matter what. It could just be a recording. they're just gonna vote that way anyway. There's all the never Trumpers. There's all the whatever, right? It doesn't even matter if it's Trump or not. It's just like there's a certain amount of people that are gonna vote no matter what for a garbage candidate. So I don't know what that says about the population as a whole, but it's in this case it just seems to be, it's under the microscope at this point because she was so bad as a VP. So I'm going to show this real quick. This is Statista. That's a site I found for statistics. Shows the favorability of Kamala Harris in the United States as of October 2024. So there's 3 different lines here. You'll see one is from June 17th, the next is from August 17th, and the final one's from October 1st. So the top line, the light gray, that's October 1st. You can see her very favorable. She's very favorable at 30% in October. In June, it's 16%. So she has a 14% jump in favorable. Somewhat favorable, she actually gets a drop. So some of those ones that went to very favorable came from somewhat favorable, obviously, right? Because you got a 5% drop, but a net overall 9% gain. Somewhat unfavorable, about the same. It's 10 and 11, so it's right around the same. Very unfavorable. So it goes from, in June, from 44% down to 38% in October. And then people that don't know, it kind of stays the same between 7 and 5%. So you get this pretty consistent jump where people have gone from unfavorable to favorable, or very favorable even. But oddly enough, why? Like there's no reason why. There's nothing that she's done that you could say, oh, okay, well, I'm now favorable. It's different if somebody comes in and you don't really know them and they're, they don't really have a track record, but she has a track record as vice president. So these numbers are weird for that. You could argue that if it's somebody who comes in low because they didn't have any, didn't really have any notability or anything like that. Nobody really knew who they were. Someone like a Vivek Ramaswamy, right? His numbers kept going up because people were starting to know and they're starting to get his message was coming through. But in this case, she hasn't really said or done very much for this to change. So I don't know what that means. Like I said, I suspect it just means that it doesn't matter who you put in there, especially in this election cycle, because you have so many never Trumpers that they're going to vote for. You could put a dog in there. It'd be Trump's running against a golden retriever, and the golden retriever would still get like 48% of the popular vote, or maybe more. It depends on how good they can cheat with the with the golden retriever, I guess. I don't know. So from unpopular to popular, seems a little sketchy to me. Let me know what you think in the comments. You're saying there, no shit, the numbers shouldn't have appeared. Oh, sorry. What do you got here? Only you can get yogurt stuck in your teeth. Yeah. It's not yogurt. It's the fucking seeds in the, like a, right back here. I got like one. Bugging me. Let me see. I've received no less than 6 polling calls over the summer. Oh, really? You're the only person I've ever heard. Because I know some people in the States and they claim they never get any polling calls whatsoever. So, Goldens are charming doggos. They are charming doggos. I mean, some kind of looks a little bit with his hair. He kind of looks like a golden retriever. So, I kid. All right. Let me get on the next thing here. DEI. We're going to talk about this one. Okay, so DEI. Has it finally taken a shit? Let's hope so. God, I'm so sick of this crap. It's nice when you see the USA Today, I should say, posting an article about this, an opinion article, but still an article. I'm going to read this. It says, University of Michigan spent millions on DEI efforts. They failed miserably. Well, divisive, extreme, and intolerant. That's what diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts have become. And conservatives are no longer the only skeptics. The New York Times this month uncovered that the University of Michigan's programs to promote supposed diversity and inclusion at a cost of about $250 million. Wow. Since 2016 Geez, that shows you. That just goes to show you that they make way too much money at these universities. Instead, fueled campus discord. After years of a heavy emphasis on DEI, Michigan students struggle to engage with peers from different racial, political, or religious backgrounds. Duh. I wonder why. When you make the other side the devil, yeah, you're gonna have a hard time talking to them. The Times coverage is a turning point. For years, news outlets dismissed critiques of DEI as racist dog whistles, slurs, and the new Red Scare. Meanwhile, universities and corporations adopted racial considerations in hiring to meet equity goals. University established bias response teams to monitor speech, ostensibly to protect minorities from feeling excluded, but often targeting views they simply disagreed with. And university faculty recruiters used diversity statements to filter applicants based on their political commitments to progressive causes. Well, duh. This is all. God, I don't know why this stuff. It seems like a surprise. It's like, whoa, this shit didn't work. Oh, we spent $250 million and all it did was make people hate each other and, not be able to communicate with each other and stuff. Oh, that's weird. Or it's just the act, right? They knew they were doing that, and it's the act. Oh no, we didn't know what we were doing. All these decisions aroused ire from conservative media, but the opposition failed to deal a decisive blow to the movement. The debate around DEI was over values rather than facts, and few people in the mainstream wanted to challenge inclusivity as a value. DEI industry built at least in part on false information, so an entire industry was quietly built by appealing to those values, consisting of DEI consulting firms, authors, and workshops. See, that touches base on something, a key thing to this. It's the grifters. It's the people that are going to jump in on this, on anything, on any cultural wave, on any, new initiative, green initiative, things like that. They're going to jump in on it and just make a ton of money. These are just grifters, right? These are people that start this shit. So they know that, maybe not all of them, but I think most of them know that it's bullshit and they're just going the way the wind blows. They're like, oh, we can make some money on this thing. So they get in there doing workshops and consulting firms. What the fuck is that? You bring people like Robin DiAngelo into your business and she's going to talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion with your very diverse staff. And all it really is going to do is just drive a wedge between them all. It's just stupid. Funny, I brought up Robin DiAngelo. I hadn't read ahead. I was about to talk about it. Individuals like Robin DiAngelo, author of White Fragility, and Ibram X. Kendi, author of How to Be an Anti-Racist, became famous as DEI gurus, charging 5-figure speaking fees to prominent universities and corporations. This past year, it's become increasingly clear that the DEI industry is built at least in part on false information. Consulting firm McKinsey & Co., in a series of reports published since 2015, claimed corporations with more diverse executive teams are more profitable. Even the U.S. military cited McKinsey's results as a justification for investing in DEI. When the study was replicated in March with another sample of firms, it turned out that the original findings didn't hold up. In fact, McKinsey's methodology was flawed because it couldn't demonstrate a causal link between diversity and profitability. Okay. Wow. Just got to shake your head, man. Like, when did common sense go out the window? How did anybody think that this was going to be a good idea? You listen to that idiot, Ibram X. Kendi, and his just awful ideas. I don't know how anybody could listen to that and go, this is good, real poignant stuff. This will work. It's regurgitated racism with different words. You're talking about segregation and all these different words of like cultural appropriation and all this bullshit. Like it's a bad thing. We culture appropriate everything. So this idea that you're gonna push this equity and inclusion shit, but then basically segregate people based on their race or their ethnicity is just nonsense. So I don't know how people didn't see this. Like I said, I just tend to think, this is my leanings on it. I tend to think people are smarter than they act. And I think that's the grift. You act like you're dumb. You act like you don't know. But we're just doing for the good of everyone. We're just jumping on this. But realistically, it's just to line your pockets. So fuck you all. Coming to an end, you bunch of grifters. Go find something else to grift on. Yeah, U of M. Obviously, U of M is a really seemingly a progressive school. Eh? You wouldn't think so, but well, I guess maybe you would because it's so close to the north, and we're very progressive up here. I guess U of T is pretty bad too. So, University of Toronto for anybody wondering what I meant by that, but yeah. So I'm just glad to see this DEI is starting to finally the ship is starting to finally turn, and people are realizing this is just hogwash bullshit. You know, I guess probably movies like Am I Racist and stuff. Matt Walsh's movie there, Daily Wire, it's probably helping. It's helping the push back to the center. It's just sad that you've got to kind of like go further to the right to try and drive the culture back to the center. It's like just hopefully it doesn't go too far right, and then we get a weird whatever the right would bring, progressivism, I guess. We just get rid of all socialism programs completely. We have no social safety net, and everybody's on their own. That would be just as much of a nightmare. Okay, let's get on to the next thing here. This one's a little scary. Hopefully, was it going to let me? Better. I'm not buying Guardian. I'm not paying for the Guardian. Garbage network. Be better and I'll pay for you. So North Korea is ratcheting up their nuclear arsenal, I guess. Their stockpile. This is not good news. Anybody trying to ratchet up their nuclear stockpile is not good for anybody, especially unstable parts of the world like North Korea. I'm going to read this article. This is the Guardian. You know what I think about the Guardian for the most part. North Korea tells UN it's speeding up its nuclear weapons program. North Korea's UN envoy has said that Pyongyang, yes, will accelerate a buildup of its nuclear weapons program just days after it test-fired an intercontinental ballistic missile for the first time this year at a moment of rising tensions with the West. Kim Song, North Korea's ambassador to the UN, said during a Security Council meeting on Monday that Pyongyang would accelerate the program to counter any threat presented by hostile nuclear weapon states. The Security Council meeting was convened to address Pyongyang's testing of an intercontinental... sorry, I'll stop reading it like that. Intercontinental ballistic missile on Thursday meant to demonstrate North Korea's growing prowess at developing missiles that could deliver more powerful nuclear warheads potentially to the mainland U.S. U.S. and Ukraine have warned that North Korea has nearly 8,000 soldiers stationed in the Kursk region of Russia who could go into combat in Ukraine in the coming days, and both countries have warned that those troops will become legitimate military targets if they take part in fighting. The nuclear threat of the United States against North Korea has already reached critical point in terms of its scale and danger, Kim said. Due to reckless moves of the United States, the potential situation is approaching the brink of war. During the meeting, the U.S. accused China and Russia of shamelessly protecting Pyongyang. Sorry, I have to do it. I'm going to do it every time. I lied earlier. I apologize. At the UN from closer scrutiny of its sanctions violating activities, and said Pyongyang had been emboldened to continue advancing its unlawful ballistic missile, nuclear, and WMD programs. North Korea is believed to be seeking Russian missile and space technology as part of a deal to provide troops in Russia's war against Ukraine. But U.S. officials have not said that they believe Vladimir Putin has provided said what they believe Vladimir Putin has provided to North Korea in exchange. Russia and China has shamelessly protected Pyongyang from any reprisal or even condemnation of its actions, said Robert Wood, the deputy U.S. ambassador to the UN. Stop making myself laugh. I'm stupid. Vladimir Putin. I can't believe they keep putting that damn word in. How many times is it in the article? I'm just gonna keep reading it like that. All right, regroup. Vladimir Putin greeted North Korea's foreign minister in a surprise meeting in the Kremlin after the U.S. warnings about North Korea soldiers approaching Ukraine. Okay, this keeps going a little bit, and it's probably going to say Pyongyang one more time, so I'm just going to stay out of that. Actually, I don't think it did. All right, I'll stop there. This is scary stuff, though. This is not good. We're when you okay, so we're already in a situation right now in two different areas of the world where we've got Russia and Ukraine, and you've got Israel and whatever, all the neighboring countries there. Say the Palestinians, but it's not really the Palestinians. It's more the Saudis and such over there that could be turning into a much hotter war. This one is scarier though, because you get someone like a country like North Korea getting in there. They might just be hungry to test their might or show off or do something. They start putting troops into hostile zones. They're ratcheting up their nuclear weapons program. They drop a nuke. What's going to stop the UN from reprisal, right? So it's this is scary stuff. This is where you start getting into uncertainty. This is where you need a president in the U.S. that's good with calming stuff down, right? Good with foreign affairs. Sadly, I don't think. I think one of them could be good, and I think the other one not so much. So we'll have to watch this and see what happens here. But none of this looks any good. Just hope I'm wrong about it, about how not good it is. Yeah. Yeah. I heard North Korea has already been deployed to Ukraine. Yeah. Crazy. When you say that, it sounds like Canadian hate crime. Pyongyang. I don't know. I just gotta make myself laugh over here. Yeah. Okay, but yeah, this is I don't like this kind of stuff because it's like it's like giving an unhinged person a weapon. Like you just don't know what they're gonna do with it. So it was nice when North Korea was kind of like calmed down a little bit when they weren't up to some shit. We weren't hearing about it at least, but now we hear about it, and all it takes is this this unhinged leader to do something that starts a much bigger conflict. So scary. All right, we get on the next thing here. All right. Okay, so robots. They're coming. How fast are they coming? Seems to be a bit of a speed up. I'm going to read this article here. This is Reuters. Reuters is pretty good with some of their technological news. Not so good with their politics and such, but let's see what they say about this. So robot AI startup Physical Intelligence raises $400 million from Bezos and OpenAI. Physical Intelligence, a startup that is developing foundational software for robots, said on Monday it has raised $400 million in early-stage funding from Amazon's Jeff Bezos, OpenAI, venture capital firms Thrive Capital and Lux Capital. The new funds were raised at a $2 billion valuation, PitchBook data showed. Physical Intelligence is seeking to make a software that would work on any robot, eliminating the need to develop a software for each specific task. That could speed up some things. The largest tech companies, Microsoft, Google, Meta, Amazon, and NVIDIA, are investing billions in adopting AI. Funding of AI and cloud companies in the US, Europe, and Israel is estimated to hit $79.2 billion by the end of 2024, according to venture capital firm Accel. Multiple startups are foraying into the robotic AI space, including Vicarious, which was acquired by Alphabet-owned Intrinsic in 2022, Universal Robots, Seegrid, and Covariant. I didn't even know those two. Elon Musk earlier said that there will be at least 10 billion humanoid robots priced between 20,000 and 25,000 by 2040. Holy shoot. That would be crazy. You just got little robots running around doing shit for you. Tesla also showed the latest version of its Optimus humanoid robot at the Robotaxi unveiling event. Last week, Physical Intelligence published a paper which showed how its software, called Pi-O, I guess? Yeah, Pi-Zero, enabled robots to fold laundry, bagging groceries, and taking toast out of a toaster. Holy shit. Well, they're starting with small tasks, but that's that's where it goes. Like, I mean, when they had that dog, and then they had that thing that can flip, and they're just getting better and better, like Boston Dynamics, and yeah, I can't remember the other one, but all these other robotics companies that are pumping out robots that are just moving. It's just crazy how much better, exponentially, how much better they're getting. So yeah, I mean, 2040, that might even be a bit of a that might be a bit far out. That might not be correct. We might be looking as soon as, could be even 5 years earlier than that. If it moves the way that other stuff seems to be moving, AI seems to be moving super fast, exponential growth. Might have that with robots, and we could end up beating that that guesstimate, I guess you could say. If you look at what's his face, Ray Kurzweil talks about 2029 as being the year that artificial intelligence basically gets sentience, like, becomes aware, self-aware. So I don't know, if you put all that together, who knows? I'm not sure exactly what time, but this is a move in the, I mean, depending on your perspective, the right direction, the scary direction. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. Oh, my favorite subject. Both those capital firms are owned by BlackRock and State Street. Of course they are. Gradually, then suddenly. That's AI in a nutshell. Yeah, you're right. 100%. It's like, but it's like a bomb going off. It's the minute, it's just bang. The minute it goes off, it goes off. It's like, how do you turn it off? I don't know. And the more these big companies are getting together and doing different collaborations, the faster this stuff moves along. So that's where it kind of, like you kind of want it to slow down a little bit, maybe, because the faster it goes, the less sort of information you'd have about things. It would be like the technology is advancing faster than what the knowledge of the outcome of the technology could be. You just wouldn't know until, like, all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, this is just, it's snowballed to the to an effect where you just can't stop it. So no, I mean, personally, whatever. I just go with the flow on everything. So if we are gonna kill ourselves with AI and robots and stuff, well, I guess that's, so be it, I suppose. I don't know. You can't just worry about all this kind of stuff all the time. But it's it'd be nice to get ahead of it and be make some money on it. I'll tell you that much. Yeah. I'm plugging along today. Holy shit. I thought I would be a little long on a couple things, but I'm not. We're only at 39 minutes. So it's good. I got a chill on me today. That's why I got a sweater on. 71 degrees in my place, but for whatever reason, I got a little like body chill going on inside. So hopefully I'm not getting sick. I am. Whatever. All right. Yeah. Let me get into the next thing here. Poop, 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 poop. Okay. So if you watch this podcast enough, you'll know that I'm a big fan of Clown World. And I got an article, or not an article, I got a video from Clown World queued up. This is Nancy Pelosi talking about Trump being in cognitive decline as she stumbles through her words. The 84-year-old skin suit at this point, like, just, she looks like, at this point, she kind of looks like the that dude in Men in Black that wears the human, and he's like constantly stretching the skin. It's kind of what she looks like to me. Let me read this article. Let me post it or play this video. I'm losing my mind here. Play this video here, and we'll discuss.
Morning. Wonderful to be with you again on this weekend before the election.
Wonderful.
I think that what ex-president just said is further indication of his cognitive recently, whether he marks also diminishing the power of the press, which are free voting as president for evidence. Maybe those President Vance trouble thing. Our country, right? Our family violence. Where is Nancy? Where's Nancy? Our house violating the sanctity of our home. And my husband echoing what said in January.
Gotta hate that broad. Just career politician. Talking about cognitive decline. You're 84 years old. Relax. How about you just retire? Let's just get out of there. You've made hundreds of millions of dollars in the stock market, making excellent trades because your husband is just brilliant and just knows exactly where everything's going, and he just makes all the right trades. Not like anybody could be feeding him information, from a place of knowledge. And so you couldn't hear it? Oh, well, if you couldn't hear it, that's a problem. I don't know why. Sound problem, maybe. Yeah. So she's just a dumpster fire, and I just find the audacity to say that Trump has got cognitive decline. Go watch his 3-hour podcast with Joe Rogan and see if there's cognitive decline there. I'd love to see this broad do a 3-hour interview with somebody, and not even interview, just talk for 3 hours without any teleprompters or talking points or any of that kind of stuff, or being fed what she has to say. These people are ridiculous. We just need a change, just a big change altogether. Yeah, that's just sick, man. Someone like her, she's just awful. She's just a power-hungry little twit. Old, decrepit, just awful person. Just get out. That's why we need term limits in the Senate and in Congress. It's just brutal. Give them 8-year term limits. Get them the fuck out of there. Then you don't get these career politicians like even like Biden, 50 years in politics. I know. I agree. I find Trump to be quite. I mean, I would have expected there to be some cognitive decline, or just being 78, or at the very least for him to have aged poorly. Doesn't seem to. I don't know. He's like Teflon, man. They call him Teflon Don for a reason. He seems to just, it's the kind of job that doesn't seem to weigh on him. And considering how much just constant attacks he's been under, you would think so. You'd think he would. All the presidents, any president gets attacked by the media, gets attacked by all kinds of different organizations and stuff, news and comedy and all that kind of stuff. There's all kinds of that goes on. But they're usually not being attacked by their own government, their own, like the DOJ and stuff. But he was, and he seems to fare it pretty well. I personally would rather see a younger man or woman in as president, somewhere in their 50s or 60s or something, somewhere where there's enough wisdom, but also still like longevity, where you're not worried that they may expire. You get a guy at 78, he's basically at the end of the average age of a male, right? So it's kind of like touch and go from that point on. But I just foresee Trump living a long time unless they get him. But yeah, maybe it's the Diet Coke. Must be McDonald's and Diet Coke. It's there's strangeness to that. Like, look at someone like Burns with what's his name? Something Burns. Smoked cigars. He lived into his like 90s or something, and he was just looked unhealthy, but seemed to just be living. If you get someone who's healthy, they die early. I don't know. So I think it's almost like there's a timer on us. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter necessarily how you live. Eat like shit. Doesn't matter. When your ticker goes, your ticker's gonna go. It's like I don't think there's almost anything you can do about it. Gotta live every day, no matter what. But yeah, all right. That's all I got. That's all I got on that. That's all I got on all of it. That's it. That's it for me. We're at 45 minutes. Holy shit. I'm getting quicker and quicker and just nailing through stuff. I mean, we had no Robert today, so it's just you and me, Joe. And the viewers were never spiked over 4 or 5, so well, whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, so election tomorrow. If you're watching and you're in the States, get out there and vote if you haven't already. Don't sit on your laurels and think that your vote doesn't count, because your vote does count. As you can see by the last election, it counts, especially if you're in a swing state. It really counts. So if you want your candidate to win, you better get out and vote for them. And yeah, think long and hard about what your candidate offers. Don't just vote for the other person because you maybe don't personally like the other one. So that's what I gotta say about that. To be fair, I went on a McDonald's diet once. I ate 2 double cheeseburgers a day and lost 30 pounds over that summer. Yeah, you know what? Actually, it's funny if you do I did the P90X. It's a program, it's a Beachbody program. I did it back in, I don't know, whatever it was, like 2010 or something like that. And in the diet plan, it lists McDonald's hamburgers and cheeseburgers, so you can have them. It's not they're not awful. I mean, they're not awful for you. It's not. I mean, it's just mostly meat, and and then you got the carb in the bun and stuff, right? As long as you're not putting a bunch of bullshit sauces and stuff like that on your burgers, your burgers are fine to eat. You will. It's all calories in, calories out. So you're not eating a shit ton of sugar or drinking a shit ton of your calories, like in way of sugar and stuff. Yeah, you can lose a lot of weight. So yeah, I wouldn't suggest going on a McDonald's diet. There was that guy that did it, that movie Super Size Me, where he went for, I think, a month or two. He went on a just pure McDonald's diet. He wasn't doing too well afterward. So yeah, maybe not. But once in a while it's fine. All right. That's it. That's all I've got. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being with me, Joe, as always. If you are watching the podcast, you do watch the podcast, and you're not yet a subscriber, do subscribe. I shouldn't have to say that by now, but I seem to have to. So yeah, that helps a small channel. If you want to help a small channel, if you don't like the channel, well, you know what? Fuck off. It'll go away, I'm sure, eventually. If you missed any part of the podcast and you want to catch it in smaller doses, you can catch it I drop the videos at 5 o'clock Eastern between Tuesday and Sunday. You can catch it there. Like, share, all that kind of stuff. Comment. I like the comments. Get in the comments. I want to hear what you have to say. Sometimes I'm snarky with you if you say something a little bit stupid. If you're funny, then I will laugh and respond. If you're just stupid altogether, I may not respond at all. Depends. So, but yeah. So do that. See me next week. I'll be here Monday, 7 o'clock Eastern. Me and Joe. It's always me and Joe at the very least. We'll be here. You want to come? You're more than welcome. Come join the chat and check us out. Thanks again, Joe. See you next week, buddy. For everybody else, we'll see you as well.